Now before we get into the video, I do want to say a massive thank you to today's video sponsors, and once again that is jerseyfifa.com. They really do help keep the content on this channel going, and they even sent me a free shirt which you can see on screen here. And as you can see, I got the new Manchester United home kit, and genuinely the kit really is top quality. I highly recommend their product. So make sure to get in a link in the description down below, and now if you use code JerseyFifa at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You get a great football shirt, and you help support the channel, which I really do appreciate massively. So guys, today we are going over something that I meant to cover about a month ago, but I thought I had uploaded the video and just completely forgot. I'm going to be going through 5 players that you should watch this season. Now some of them you will have heard of, some of them you won't, and some of them I will butcher their names and their pronunciation, but sorry about that. The important thing is their talent. So first of all, we've got Malo Gusto, we then got Jamal Musiala, we then got Adrian Truffi, we then got Kike Fernandez, and this is the name I really struggle with saying, Luca Sekich, something like that. And I just want to talk about some of their strengths, because I think these are 5 players you need to watch this season, either at the highest level in the Champions League, or just in their domestic leagues, or just a player that you need to keep an eye on because they're developing into quite a nice footballer. And we will start off with 19-year-old Malo Gusto, who's a right back currently playing for Lyon, and this is one of my favourite players in all of Europe. And at 19 years old, with Dubois leaving the club, he has now cemented himself as a first choice starter in this Lyon side at right back. And trust me when I say this guy is brilliant. Like, I don't very often kind of fully commit to saying a player is going to be special. I think Malo Gusto is going to be a very special talent. And I think in a few years' time he will be in that debate of one of the best fullbacks in the world. He's a very good player. And you need to keep an eye on him, because when we look at some of like the underlying numbers behind his performances, we can see just how well-rounded he is. So this is his percentile ranking from the FBref website, and we can see those green bars here for passes attempted, dribbles completed, interceptions, pass completion, assists, pressures, and progressive carries. Now, he's a young player, he still has areas to improve his progressive passes and his aerials won, but I think we can see that apart from that, he's a very well-rounded player, and he has the room to progress further. And we can see it here as well. With his crosses, passes completed, passes into the box, long passes completed, passes under pressure, short passes completed, key passes and touches. This is a guy who is absolutely brilliant on the ball and actually really composed for such a young player. Sometimes young players, they like to keep it simple, but also just kind of get the ball away as quickly as possible so they don't make a mistake. That is not Malo Gusto. Malo Gusto is a very confident player, he's comfortable on the ball, and he has made that right back spot in the Lyon team his own. This season, he's really going to blow up. Hopefully next season we get to see him in European competition, but remember Malo Gusto, very good player. As is the next man on the list, Jamal Musiala, who I'm sure you have all heard of. He's 19 years old, he's an attacking midfielder, and he plays for Bayern Munich. He could have chose to represent England, but he actually chose to represent Germany, so he could continue working with Flick. And he's one of those players where you probably already know about this guy because he is special. I've spoken about him on the channel a few times. We can see from his heat map, his versatility, his ability to get into different pockets of space, get the ball in different areas on the pitch. But no matter where he is, he makes a difference. And what I particularly love is his ability to kind of take the ball in a pocket of space. The first touch is good, turn and then drive at the defence before slipping a little pass through in behind the defence. That's sort of his trademark. We saw it for a goal which I covered recently. Really special player. Like Gusto, I think this is the year where we really see him go to the next level. And perhaps even for Germany at the World Cup he could make a statement. So make sure you remember his name because, again, his underlying numbers are very good. Particularly his dribbles. This guy dribbling is a joke. For a player to be this good with the ball at his feet in the centre of the pitch in crowded areas, again at such a young age, is just so impressive. We can see him ranking high for dribbles completed, touches in the attacking penalty area, shots, progressive carries, assists, shot creating actions. Even the pressures aren't bad for a player that thrives on the ball. He's happy to defend as well. But again, he still has areas that he needs to improve. At times his pass completion can be a little bit low, he does lose the ball, and at times I'd like to see him perhaps dropping deeper and then threading the ball through the lines. But those are things that will come kind of as he grows. But in general, he's just brilliant. He's such a good young player, a very technical footballer. And also, he ranks well for nutmegs, which, if we're being honest, probably the most important stat in the world. He's good at nutmegging footballers. Football is all about entertainment. Musiala brings bags of that, and just keep watching him. Keep watching Bayern, keep watching Musiala, keep watching Germany. This guy is special, and get on the train before everyone else does. People are getting on that hype train already. Get on the hype train, because Musiala is an incredible talent. An incredible talent. Really good young player. Next up, Adrian Truffi, 20 years old, left back, plays for Rennes in Ligue 1. As you can tell, I've been studying French football quite a lot, and he's a very good attacking fullback who can also play as a bit of a wing back and at times even a winger. And that's kind of reflected when we look at his heat map. Now, one thing I should say is some of these stats are slightly out of date because, like I said, I thought I recorded this video several weeks ago, but I obviously just forgot to. But yeah, the heat map, we can see kind of that attacking intent. Previously playing as a winger, he wants to get forward even when he starts at left back. And progressive carries, again coming from playing as a winger. Non-penalty goals, passes attempted, again touches in the attacking penalty area, but also progressive passes received, which shows that he likes to take up quite a high starting position. So even if he is starting at left back, he likes to move forward before then receiving the ball. And for that reason, his progressive passing numbers are a little bit lower, but that's because he's moving further forward before receiving the pass. There's then less ground to pass into, so his progressive passes are naturally lower. His pressures are good in terms of off the ball, and then carries into the final third, progressive carries, penalties won, progressive carry distance, carries into the penalty area, and total carry distance. This guy loves dribbling with the ball, and personally I love a fullback that is able to take the ball and then really drive forward. Think like Reece James at Chelsea. I love that he is able to do that. Truffi is very similar, and a lot of that comes from the fact that he can play on the wing. His successful dribbles are good, as are his players' dribbled pass. I think he's a really good, nice young player. Now, I do have my concerns about him from a defensive point of view, and I wouldn't put him anywhere near the category of Gusto and Musiala, but I still think he's a player you should watch. I certainly think Prem teams will have their eye on him, particularly those that need a left back. So let me know in the comments down below if you've seen him, and if you have, where you think he could go next summer potentially. Next up, Kike Fernandez. Now, I might have butchered that pronunciation, but he's 18 years old at centre-back. He came from Santos and now plays for Almeria in Spain, and he's made a really good start to the season at just 18 years old. And we can see from his heat map that he's comfortable playing either side of the defence, but also stepping forward with the ball. And actually, he's really comfortable with the ball at his feet, which again is impressive for a young footballer. But I think it comes from the fact that he often played futsal back in the favelas of Brazil, and you kind of see that in the way that he plays. He's very comfortable on the ball, happy to take plenty of touches, carry the ball forward or pass the ball forward, and looks a really good young player. Probably should expect it from Brazil, a bit like Marquinhos in his composure on the ball. And then off the ball as well, he's impressing. This was his performance against Real Madrid early on in the season, where we can see 5 clearances, 3 block shots, 2 tackles, and dribbled past just once. Now we know that Real Madrid team is very good. They made Atletico Madrid look bang average on the channel yesterday. They didn't do that to this guy, Kike Fernandez. Really good young defender, and I'm just looking forward to seeing him grow and move forward. Now, at times in 1-versus-1 situations, he does need to improve his tackling a little bit, and almost his reading of the game, but those are things that come with experience, and just naturally getting minutes at the top level. You kind of develop those skills, they become second nature, so don't worry if some of those numbers are a little bit low. I think you'll get there. Really good young player. Now, this is a player who probably we're not really going to see big time in the next 2 seasons, but after that, keep your eye on him, because I think he's really developing into something quite nice. As is Luca Sekich now, or Sekich. Again, I can only apologise for the pronunciation. I'm very uncultured. But he's 19 years old, attacking midfielder playing for Salzburg. And he essentially plays as an attacking midfielder in a 4-4-2 diamond. But as we can see from this heat map, he likes to drift to the right-hand side. And he kind of thrives on picking up little pockets of space. It's his awareness more than anything which really makes him stand out. A lot of young players have the quality on the ball, but can they pick up the positions to actually get the ball in the first place? Sekich can, and he's great at kind of scanning around him, checking his surroundings, and then getting into these pockets of space. And then once he's done that, he loves to carry the ball at the defence. His dribbling is good, he can beat a man, but then it's his creativity in the final third which is really impressive. And these stats are now dated from a few weeks ago, but still very impressive. In terms of his club rank with Salzburg, he was joint first for chances created, second for big chances created, second for assists, and third for expected assists. And like I said, this was just a couple of weeks into the season. Those numbers have been continuing. Very impressive from a creative sense. Now, in terms of improvement, he does need to improve his finishing a bit. We can see here only the 2 goals on this particular chart, and a lot of the time he's shooting from distance, which perhaps kind of leads to decision making need to improve. At times he needs to look for a teammate in a better position rather than taking the shot on. But these are things that come with better coaching and also just, once again, experience at the top level. Really good young player, really exciting. Hopefully we get to see him in the Champions League. If Salzburg can put some sort of run together, it'd be nice to see him getting plenty of game time. But yeah, that is basically that. Those are the 5 players that I think you need to be keeping an eye on. Now, this video has been a little bit brief, But I just want to kind of give you a player and give you a quick, brief insight onto the player. Like, I didn't want to give you a full scouting report because I wanted to get through as many different players as possible. But these are now 5 players that you guys know that you need to, 1, remember their name, and also keep an eye on them. Because this could be the year, or perhaps next season, or the season after that. There's kind of 6 months to the next 3 years. Keep an eye on these players and remember their names. Because I think we're going to see them, apart from Musiala, making a big move in the next couple of seasons. Very good players. Hopefully, they make it, and the big talents. Now, we can't guarantee that they all will, because whilst they do all have talent, there is always the chance of injury or poor coaching. Things like that will affect their development, but hopefully they all get that rub of the green that they need and develop into top talent. Will they? We don't know. That's our pleasure now. We get to wait and see. We get to watch them develop, but make sure you do. Keep an eye out for these 5 players over the course of the season. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're all staying well and safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.